started. Thank you so much for being here, being present here with me in this class, the Undoing of Fear class. And so, how are you doing with your undoing of fear? Is everything according to plan? Is it all working out? Are you discovering more and more about your fearlessness and your wholesomeness and your wholeness? I hope so. That would be great. And because there's a lot of need for healing, so to speak, there's a lot of need for support in this. And so today we use the Urtext of A Course in Miracles for that, to see what is possible and what can possibly support us in coming to different insights about how things actually are. And we were just missing it for a moment. So it is quite an endeavor to do this, to really take time to sit with the idea of how does this work in my life, and do I need to understand what's going on, or how can healing take place, and what is my place in that? So all these parts we encountered today in this beautiful section that we use. Reversing effect and cause. I say like effect and cause. Why not cause and effect? Well, we're talking about reversing effect and cause. So that's a real beautiful topic, because it brings you to the root of it, to the root of a lot of confusion, to the root of also of fear. I'm not going to completely dive into it right away. I just want to introduce you to all that is given. Like, we're only in the second part of this chapter, and see what is possible and see what is being provided as a support. Like, there's so much insight being given. And it's up to you to make that your own experience by applying it, by actually considering it first and then applying it, and enjoying that too. So that's what we're going to do today too. And excuse me. The thing that I'm using today first as a warming up for this for this intensity, the warming up, that we use this little book again, the 20-minute book with the review of the first 50 lessons. And we started the other day, we left off at a certain part, and that's where I'm going to start now again. And so enjoy this, relax into it, and breathe it in, and see how much already can be let go of by just listening to this, and by being actively participating in this. In yes, I want to let go of this. Yes, I want to let go of this. Yes, I'm willing to do that. Yes, I'm willing to do that. So here we go. We start with, I have no neutral thoughts. I have no neutral thoughts. Neutral thoughts are impossible, because all thoughts have power. They will either make a false world or lead me to the real one, but thoughts cannot be without effects. As the world I see arises from my thinking errors, so will the real world rise before my eyes as I let my errors be corrected. My thoughts cannot be neither true nor false. They must be one or the other. What I see shows me which they are. I see no neutral things. What I see witnesses to what I think. If I did not think, I would not exist, because life is thought. Let me look on the world I see as the representation of my own state of mind. I know that my state of mind can change, and so I also know that the world I see can change as well. I am not alone in experiencing the effects of my seeing. If I have no private thoughts, I cannot see a private world. Even the mad idea of separation had to be shared before it could form the basis of the world I see. Yet that sharing was a sharing of nothing. I can also call upon my real thoughts, which share everything with everyone. As my thoughts of separation call to the separation thoughts of others, so my real thoughts awaken the real thoughts in them. And the world my real thoughts show me will dawn on their side as well as mine. I'm not alone in experiencing the effects of my thoughts. I'm alone in nothing. Everything I think or say or do teaches all the universe. A son of God cannot think or speak or act in vain. He cannot be alone in anything. It is therefore in my power to change every mind along with mine, for mine is the power of God. I am determined to see, recognizing the shared nature of my thoughts. I am determined to see. I would look upon the witnesses that show me the thinking of the world has been changed. I would behold the proof that what has been done through me has enabled love to replace fear, laughter to replace tears, and abundance to replace loss. I would look upon the real world and let it teach me that my will and the will of God are one. I am determined to see things differently. What I see now are but signs of disease, disaster, and death. This cannot be what God created for his beloved Son. The very fact that I see such things is proof that I do not understand God. Therefore, I also do not understand his Son. What I see tells me that I do not know who I am. I am determined to see the witnesses to the truth in me rather than those which show me an illusion of myself. What I see is a form of vengeance. The world I see is hardly the representation of loving thoughts. It is a picture of attack on everything by everything. It is anything but a reflection of the love of God and the love of his Son. It is my own attacked thoughts that give rise to this picture. My loving thoughts will save me from this perception of the world and give me the peace God intended me to have. Okay, so one more. I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. Herein lies salvation and nowhere else. Without attack thoughts, I could not see a world of attack. As forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, I will see a world of peace and safety and joy. And it is this I choose to see in place of what I look on now. I can escape this world by giving up attack thoughts. Wow. So that's an introduction. That's a good start. You know, it's like, wow, this is pretty amazing. So, wow, what you're going to do with this, except reading it and you know, taking it in and letting that, say, reveal to you what it means. Otherwise, you know, that's like you need to come to this class in that sense in order to be sane. Like you need to come to practice this, whether you come to this class or not, but you need to practice this. It's like, oh my God, how else are you going to do this? You know, it's like all the ideas that you share. And if you turn on the television or walk in your street, you see already all kinds of attack and aggression and all that. Like, however, is that going to change? You know, so this is something that you can consider. Like, wow, what is my part in all of that? It says here, like, I'm the cause of that. Really? Am I the cause of everything that's happening that I see? Am I literally projecting my attack thoughts upon this world? I do not have any thought that doesn't have an effect. So what am I thinking? You know, it's what am I thinking? I can't believe it. So if I keep holding on to my ideas and keep, say, repeating them and expressing them, I get the result of that too. And I know where that leads to, and I don't want to do that anymore. So all these parts will come back in the part that we will be reading and looking at today. So here it says like cause and effect, effect and cause, reversing it. So it comes back in a couple of ways. One as an example, and this example is, okay, the father and the son. Like the father cannot be a father without a son. And the son cannot be a son if he doesn't have a father. You know, it's like, no, that's all related. But the father is not created by the son. No. So here we are in our reality. You were created by your father. But if you don't recognize your father for who he is, then he doesn't see that he has a son. You know, like if you don't love him completely, then you're not the son of the father in your own experience of yourself. So this isn't one part of it. So the other part is with cause and effect is that you give all kinds of say characteristics and powers to your physicality. And here it says in this chapter, in this section, it says like, well, see, the body cannot do anything. It is like a part of the mind. It is not an entity in itself. But you can program it that way in your illusion of yourself. You can program it with all kinds of ideas, and then it almost seems like an autonomous entity that does something that has effect on you in your experience of yourself. So we know these principles. You know, it's like, yeah, that's one of the basics too in what we encounter so much in coming into a healing awareness or healing practice. You know, you see that belief is very strong and needs to be undone. So at the end of this section, we will come back to that, and you see actually the reversal of that. And it's the same as if you think that all your ideas, that you can follow up on your ideas and just live them, so to speak, that you have an answer to everything and that you trust your own ideas in that, you're free to do that. And we know this by now you're aware that that is the way that humans think. And it's very much accepted, but it's not going to bring you any further in your happiness, because that's why you're actually here. You know, you're not here because everything is working out so nicely. Like, no, there's something that needs to be undone, because whatever I choose, I don't seem to choose the right thing, and nothing seems to work out the way that I wanted it to be, or I have no idea how to respond to any of this, because whatever I choose, it always doesn't seem to be what I expected it to be. So the appearance is always like an illusion. So there must be another way of doing this, of being present here. So there must be another way of looking at all of this. And there must be a way to escape your attack thoughts too. There must be a way to heal your dream. And there must be a way to look at yourself being in a dream. This is all included in this little section. You can't believe it. So it's like, it is everything that we do and think is so related to the thoughts, and say the laws that we follow, that it's pretty amazing that we still say put so much say trust in the laws that we believe in as human beings, like the medical laws, the justice laws, the social laws, the financial laws, or the way that you deal with others, you know, not only in social interaction, but also in how you are present in with others. So the invitation in what we read as an introduction was really to forgive and to, you know, to step back, and not knowing who we are will not lead us to like being completely present in this world and being able to share love to one another. So the invitation is really to come in contact with the truth of who you are. So I'm going to start to read a little bit, like the first paragraph of this chapter. Reversing effect and cause. Without a cause, there can be no effects, and yet without effects, there is no cause. So this is an open door. Yeah, we can follow this. The cause is made by its effects. The father is a father by his son. Effects do not create their cause, but they are established. They establish its causation. Thus the son gives fatherhood to his creator and receives the gift that he has given him. It is because he is God's son that he must also be a father who creates as God created him. The circle of creation has no end. Its starting and its ending are the same, but in itself it holds the universe of all creation, without beginning and without end. So I love this. So I love this idea, and I will continue with the second paragraph, because what we immediately are entering into is in, say, the idea of limitlessness, of being like unbound by anything, like not restricted by anything. So in the next paragraph, it will tell you something about your innocence, like that is your true nature. Your innocence is your true nature because it's limitless. It is not bound by anything. It is not, you cannot encapsulate it. You cannot contract it. And that's very, say, important principle to remember, because of the fact that all the characteristics that you describe to the idea of body and sickness is always a limitation. So the body could never, be that unlimited principle, while your mind can, you can have a completely open mind. It has no end. You don't even know where it starts and where it begins, as an awareness. So in the second paragraph we dive deeper into that. But I love this because it brings you a couple of things that you recognize, like, okay, cause and effect, like father, son. Yes, absolutely. God is the cause, and you're the effect. So, and this is the basic principle of your sanity. And it's good to keep that in mind, because you'll see during the rest of this paragraph that there's a little twist going on when you think that you can be separate, when you think that you can be sick, and when you think that something is determining something for you. So this is like the fundamental part of this, what is actually being transferred here. It's like the idea of limitlessness. Limitlessness is with reality related, is related with your innocence. And contraction, physicality, and all that is like a limitation in itself. Like it cannot be free of itself. It cannot be, say, unlimited. Okay, so here I go. Fatherhood is creation. Love must be extended. Purity is not confined. It is the nature of the innocent to be forever uncontained, without a barrier or limitation. See, fatherhood is creation. Love must be extended. So it's like, okay, this is the basis. Fatherhood is creation, is, it's given to the son. It is given to the son. It's not something the son does. No, it's given to the son. Love must be extended. It's like the nature of it, the nature of your father is love. And that must be extended to you, through you, being you. Purity is not confined. It is the nature of the innocent to be forever uncontained and without a barrier or limitation. Thus is the purity not of the body, nor can it be found where limitation is. The body can be healed by its effects, which are as limitless as itself. Yet must all healing come about because the mind is recognized as not within the body, and its innocence is quite apart from it. And where all healing is, where then is healing? Only where its cause is given its effects. For sickness is a meaningless attempt to give effects to causelessness, and made it a cause, may be it a cause. That's not an say a paragraph that you just read like that and understand completely what it says. So the great thing with this always is understanding is not necessary. It is not necessary to understand what's being shared here for it to work in you. But see, the basic principles that you can keep in mind is this. It's like you were created out of love. Your father is a creator, like you were created out of love. So anything that is not limitless and that is not love doesn't actually exist. You know, it does not exist. It is an appearance. It is a seeming limitation. If it's seen properly, you see that it cannot have effects if your cause, your main cause with a capital C, sorry, capital C is the cause is God. So your source is giving everything to you, has created you, is what your wholeness is. And your ideas about yourself are always limiting, and they cannot have an effect in reality. In your dream, yes. And you can do all kinds of things in your dream. Like that's the nature of the dream. You can do anything. That's why you created the dream, to have it like, okay, I want it this way. And I'm going to figure out a way that I can actually be completely autonomous and not, say, connected to a father or anything like that. Well, there's no God. You know, you can dive into that dream. We all did that to discover, like, okay, I have my own will. Why do I need the will of God? You know, then actually you try to protect this dream too. So then some things didn't really work out. So there was sickness, there was death, there was disaster. And you thought like, well, there must be something else. I really don't like this anymore. But you forgot about the idea that you were created out of love and that your father is your source. See, that makes it, even this paragraph also really simple in that sense. So it's not that complicated. You don't have to understand it, but it's always bringing you back to the cause of you is not your ideas. The cause of you, the cause of your body is not your ideas about it. It's like, no, that has nothing to do with it. So your source is where you come from, where you can connect with, is what is real about you. And that is important to keep in mind and connect with. See, all else will sort itself out. It is done for you because you can just remember what your source is. And that's where the healing can take place, by letting go of all the other ideas, letting go of your meaningless thoughts, of your attack thoughts, of your all of that, seeing that you are doing that. So any limitation that you experience are, say, coming from you, not from God. It's not a punishing God or a God that puts you through a test or something like that. Like these are old beliefs that we treasured for a while, but it's not going to be very helpful here. So there was no cause for your physical, whatever that was. There was no cause. Like it cannot be limited in any way. There was no cause. So the effect of it will also be able to, will be undone if you remember your true cause. So basically, the idea of reversing effect and cause is a real essential idea. It's like in your dream, you changed it. You literally thought that you were the cause of things, and also that your body is the cause of your victimization, that the body is the cause, does something to you. Even that you got, you organize that too for yourself, which is really a strange idea if you look at it. But it's very common to think that way until you start seeing it for what it is. See, and then see the miracle, because we're doing A Course in Miracles here. It's like the miracle is really the remembering that it had no effect. It's suddenly that we discover the connectedness with one another, that we come from the same source, and that you are the dreamer of the dream, suddenly remembering that there's more to life than the limitation that you are experiencing. It's like, oh yeah, unlimited. I'm unlimited. Like I cannot be bound by anything. Like I'm created innocent. I'm created perfect and whole. So in the moment that we share this together, in the experience of our connectedness and recognizing our true source, the miracle happens. See, and that has an effect on the body, of course, because it is like suddenly the old structure is broken. The spell that you were under is broken and can now be, can now fade away. So that is basically the basis of miracle healing. Seeing that it all had no effect, and that you're still like the effect of God, that you are the love of God, that is your true nature. Okay, so reading another paragraph, because it's also there's so much in here. I love it. Let me see. Oh yeah, nothing at all. This is C4. Nothing at all has happened, but that you have put yourself to sleep and dreamed a dream in which you were an alien to yourself, and but a part of someone else's dream. The miracle does not awaken you, but it merely shows you who the dreamer is. It teaches you there is a choice of dreams while you are still asleep, depending on the purpose of your dreaming. Do you wish a dream of healing? Do you wish for dreams of healing or dreams of death? A dream is like a memory in that it pictures what you wanted shown to you. An empty storehouse with an open door holds all your threads of memories and dreams. So it really depends on what dream do you want to dream. Even in your dream, it says like even in your dream, you can choose a dream of healing or a dream of disaster or death. It's like, okay, so in order for you to live this, so to speak, to come to see every aspect of the healing that is taking place, you can dream a dream of healing, like you chose to do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this class. You choose a dream of healing. And first, you want to be healed yourself. You want to accept that completely for yourself. But at the same time, you see that, oh, it's so valuable and so helpful that I love to extend it to others, even though they are dream figures in my dream. Even though I'm still dreaming, I'm not completely awake in the fact that like this has no meaning whatsoever and this is already over. No, I still believe some of it is true. Like I still believe that I'm in this dream and that I cannot just step out of it just like that. So then why not dream a dream of healing and give everything to everyone, helping others to remember their true source, helping yourself to remember your true source by sitting still with yourself, by remembering it in the ways that you do, by reading, by listening to a tape, or however you're going to do this. But why not dream a dream of healing? It is your choice, you know? So I'm going to look for the parts in which it is really about the healing and the body. That must be in here too, and because of the there's something essential in there for us too. So I'm going to check that out. Okay, we're going to continue a little bit still with the dream, because this world is causeless, as is every dream that anyone has dreamed within the world. No plans are possible, and no design exists that could be found and understood. What else could be expected from a thing that has no cause? But if it has no cause, it has no purpose. You may cause a dream, but never will you give it real effects. For what would change its cause, and it is this you cannot do. The dreamer of a dream is not awake, but does not know he sleeps. He sees illusions of himself as sick or well, depressed or happy, but without a stable cause with guaranteed effects. The miracle, okay, here, this is C8. The miracle does nothing but to show him that he has done nothing. What he fears is without the consequences which would make it cause, and so it never was. The separation started with the dream. The father was deprived of his effects and powerless to keep them, since he was no longer their creator. In the dream, the dreamer made himself, but what he made had turned against him, taking on the role of its creator, and as the dreamer had. And as he hated his creator, so the figures in the dream have hated him. His body is their slave, which they abuse, because the motives he has given it have they adopted as their own, and hate it for the vengeance it would offer them. Wow, that's pretty intense. I'm going to continue. It is their vengeance on the body which appears to prove the dreamer could not be the maker of the dream. Effect and cause are first split off and then reversed, so that that effect becomes a cause. The cause, effect. This is the separation's final step, with which salvation, which proceeds to go the other way, begins. This final step is an effect of what has gone before, appearing as a cause. The miracle is the first step in giving back the cause, the function of causation, not effect. For this confusion has produced a dream, and while it lasts, will awakening be feared? Nor will the call to awaken be heard, because it seems to be the call of fear. See, that's an interesting idea. So in your dream, you twisted it all so much around that you got lost in it yourself. Well, we're very familiar with that. We know this, So taking it from there, then you see that everything connected to awakening is still, you hold it off. It's like if I would say, like, okay, just ask for the love of God and it will be shown, then there's a certain hesitation that comes up in you. And it's like, well, maybe I want to experience that, but I'm not ready yet, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe later. So there's like a fear of God, and we touched on that, say, in some other classes too. It's like there's a fear of God connected to it, because you basically created your own little kingdom, and now it has turned against yourself, and you turned it upside down, thinking that you're the victim of, for instance, your body, or of the whole setup, that you cannot escape out of it. And so you get lost in that. So here is the possibility then to come to a different experience of it. But see, the recognition that because of all this turning around that you did, that you became afraid of your creator, is of course only one way. It's like, this is just one way. You are afraid of God, maybe, or you're afraid to experience the love of God and disappear into it, because you're holding on to something that you still believe in and think that is worth holding on to. That's like, you cannot let it be undone just like that, immediately, completely. That goes step by step. That's why we practice this. That's why you extend this to others. Even in your dream, you dream a dream of healing, and see that the possibilities are like, you can experience miracles. You step by step, you dare to receive more love, or to take more time to dive deeply into stillness for yourself. Not being occupied with the idea that you need to do something in the world, but taking time to disconnect from it, and taking time for yourself to allow the love to come to you, in fact, and allow the stillness to speak to you. So that is, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing that we read literally the basics of dreaming, of waking up, of what is preventing you from stepping into that immediately in its totality. See, it doesn't need to take time, but it appears that way, that we do it that way. It's like we take time to run through this, or to examine this, and to let go a little bit of this and let go a little bit of that. And so the invitation in this is always like, well, you have nothing to lose. You can be comforted. So a big part of the undoing of fear is calming down, coming to the idea that you are not your own cause. Like, if you would be the originator of everything, and it had reality, then you had really a reason to be afraid. But now it's like the discovery of, no, it did not have an effect. It all did not have effects. It just seemed that way. Like, it can be undone, and that can be shown to you. See, and then the funny part is in you experiencing the miracle for a moment, a relief of the vertical shift, the shift into vertical perception and awareness instead of the horizontal, and being a joyous occasion of connectedness, makes it so clear to you that you're actually the cause of this, all the disaster that you came up with, and that you have to laugh about it. It's like, oh my God, I really thought it had effects. Like, in my fear, it did crazy things. I really thought that I was like messing everything up in that sense, and that it had real effects with, hurt and all that, guilt and sin and all of it. So that's why it's so great to have the possibility, like the tool of a miracle, in which you can recognize, oh my God, that did not change. Like, okay, I'm the dreamer of the dream. I'm not determined by my dream. No, God still loves me completely, and I'm in an experience of that, say, remembering my connectedness with my brother. That's amazing. So, and that is, your entitlement, of course. That's your entitlement. You can ask for it. You can be aware of it. Ask me, ask in the morning. It says almost immediately in the Urtext, like, asking me which miracle to perform today. So you take that with you in your toolkit. It's like the miracle is always there. There's always, an opportunity to experience it. And it might as well happen right now. It is not under conscious control, but it's available and it can be given. And that is happening right now. This is what that is. It's like that is what this is. It's amazing that that's available, that you can apply that all the time. So that's so great. So it is quite a paragraph. It's quite a section that we're reading. And because it's so fundamental, it's good to read it again or listen to it. And that's what I would suggest to do, it's because it's lovely to really get deeply in touch with this, because that will help you to see that there's no reason for you to be afraid. Not because I say that you don't have to be afraid. No, because you're not the cause of the things that you were afraid that you were the cause of. No, nothing happened. The miracle shows you that nothing happened, that God still loves you. And that, see, I'm not using parts of my dream to prove that something happened. No, I bring it back to source. It's like, no, I'm still as God created me. He created me. I'm his son. I'm an effect of him. He's my cause. That is the only thing that is happening here. And I want to fully experience that in every moment that I remember it, And if I don't remember it, I walk against my own limitation again. And then it's like, oh yeah, wait a minute. I'm still trusting my own ideas. Like, stop right here. I need to remember this, that who is my cause? And it's nice to not be concerned that you're the cause of things, but that you're the effect of God. It feels very comforting. See, and that is what we see in this chapter, is like all like the pillars of trust are given. This is a great one, it's like, okay, let's put things straight here. No, you're not the cause. Like, you're the effect of God. God is love and you're its effect. Well, that's not very threatening, is it? So that's so lovely. And that's so good to remember. So last time it was the present moment, like, okay, here we are. This is the moment we can be free of fear. And that is the moment in which we remember that we are in perfect communication with our source. Now it is like, yeah, you're an effect of this source. You're the effect of it. That is the only thing that you are. You're nothing else. So let that dream collapse. Let it all fall apart. Let your dream fall apart, whatever that may look like. Okay, so thanks for putting up with me in this class. I'm really happy that you're here and that you continue to have need of this. It's like, great. Yeah, absolutely. Same here. I love to remember this with you. Yeah, I have a necessity to do that. Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm really grateful that you are here doing that practice with me. Thank you for that.